The first question you asked me now, what's it like living there? I prefer living over there compared to Nigeria because it's a working system. Everything
just works
just
for you.
makes
At
sense.
least it works.
So are you saying that you didn't experience anything like depression?
Oh, so I think that depression is in the air. Yeah, it is.
Not that.
It's a
it
disorder.
is.
What's that?
Yes,
I've forgotten.
I forgot.
SAD.
Seasonal
Yeah,
affected
so
disease.
it's in the air because what was even the thing for me was just that one day I think I just realized that you're actually alone. Yeah, I saw it's funny. I was just on my bed one day. It was a free day for me. I didn't really have any assignments and whatnot. I was just chilling. I think most of my housemates had left the house and I was just alone in the room. And then when they say an idle man is the devil's workshop. So honestly, one voice or something just dawned on me that
Only you are alone.
Nobody even gonna check on you.
Hi guys, Jaffa Chronicles podcast here again. I'm your humble host.
One day we would ask you why you're always blushing when you start doing
Exactly,
introduction.
when
Why
you
are you
start
Am I
always
not supposed to smile? I'm supposed to be
Why are
funny.
you blushing? We didn't say
blushing.
smile. We are saying
Again,
blushing.
if you don't have a mic, do not speak.
We can share.
If you don't have a mic, do not speak. This is the second time in a row. You don't have a mic, don't speak. You cannot hear you.
oh gosh.
As I was saying, am I
Welcome
supposed
back
to...
to our channel, guys.
Yeah,
It's been an interesting couple of weeks. There's a lot to talk about.
there's a lot to talk about.
Today they put me behind the scene.
Oh yeah, we have Chinwe
And
with
I'm
us
crying.
behind the scene.
We
No, because
relegated
we have
we relegated Chinwe to behind the camera.
it's somebody's fault, Cha. Somebody didn't inform them that there was
Somebody.
recording today.
I
Well,
think you
Don't
get
let
an
us
email.
drag you.
please, that's
gets
what
an
I don't like hearing that thing. Thank you. Anyways, I'm your humble host, Medici.
New mantra in the office now is hashtag you get an email.
I've gotten, how many emails have I gotten since I joined this organization? At least 2 from those mails were not
Asans, please watch this episode.
for me.
He said he needs more. He
No,
needs more email.
they were not for me. They were unwarranted, but let's not get into that. I have my Oga here, the king of Japa. Do you want to introduce yourself?
No, I have a lot
Why are
to
you
get
not
off my chest.
smiling?
You know, I had like a 30-minute conversation with one of my guys in the UK today, and we're talking about life and went to Jackpot. So like my mind, I realized my mind did somewhere else. So okay, you let's introduce
let's-
Okwe because
let's
my
do-
mind already did. I
So
want
we
to talk
have
with him and
Okwe
my guy
Adebari here.
talk.
Introduce yourself now. We have a guest.
Okay, yeah. Hi everyone. My name is Okwe Adebari. I'm a sports events expert. I'm a sports anchor, sports analyst, producer, reporter. I'm a football scout as well.
This is how to introduce yourself. No, you enter podcast, they blush.
My
I mean, they already know me.
humble self.
They already
my
know me,
uncle
so why? I know
Let's
this.
get started, Joe.
As you talk that, I say I did ginger. Hi guys, I'm Emmanuel Oladipo Adebowale, the best guy in immigration today. KOJ for a reason. If you want
That's
to
not how
jump
he
And that's how they
introduced
do
himself.
it.
He was calling his
CGFR.
his
CGFR.
roles.
King no pass. Title no pass king. You know what
I'm
I'm
a
saying?
sports citizen. You say I'm the best guy.
He's
What do
immigration
you do?
consultant.
King
Immigration
is-
immigration
No,
consultant.
I'm a senior immigration consultant.
Okay, cool story. Talk yo.
Oh, I'm a writer. I'm a podcaster.
Big head writer. That's the only thing. Big head. I
I'm
have
a
a
chicks
big head.
man.
How do you say?
Yeah, what? Yeah, what?
No, he's a chicks man for me.
ah,
No,
you
he's
know
a chicks
this
man.
from-
Honestly,
don't
he's a
play.
chicks man for me.
Like chicken.
You'll be surprised, but he's a chicks
See,
man.
Are you
there's
Like-
nothing in this
Not even
organization.
Like
surprised.
3-day old chick.
No.
They are not even surprised.
so
No,
happy.
you'll be
Somebody has come to
surprised.
me.
He pulls. No, he's pulling
You
in
know,
his bad.
we go
Honestly.
way
All
back.
right. Let's focus on right.
KJ, you're quickly moving on from that.
So because
You know,
because for the very first
Friends,
time,
He never gives me my
No, I'm not.
flowers.
But for the very first time, he actually has somebody to validate it, and I don't really. I don't. My mind dey
He
UK now.
will never give me my flowers.
Oh yeah, take it.
But you know, those like guys is no be show evidence. Maybe because we never seen evidence, and then for
okay.
office, all the base for office.
Why you not the child?
Chase, I don't talk. So,
What's it?
alright, okay. Nice to meet you. Nice to
pleasure
be
to be here.
to have you here. I mean, usually most of our guests are people who have either lived abroad or schooled abroad. So, what's your story so that we then hit Like
Okay.
go right
I think
into it?
both. It's been a mix of both studying and living.
So what countries? Where did you live and where did you
So I
study?
lived in Leeds, which is
Yeah,
in
UK.
England,
Okay.
to be precise. So England is within the United Kingdom.
Shit. Thanks for.
Okwa eh? You know there are different countries in the UK. So let's not get into that.
Okay, no.
Let's-
Okpe mentioned the four
Okwa mentioned the four
countries.
countries in the UK.
Please, I don't have a mic. I'm not going to talk.
Nice one.
All right, so yeah, so you schooled in Leeds, okay?
Yes.
And lived there after school for a while.
Yes, I did.
Lived in any other country?
No.
But what other country have you visited?
I've been to Spain.
Ah,
Yeah, I've been to Ghana.
Nah, I don't think
Hey, no, we can count Ghana now. We're pro-African.
This guy,
I mean, Pan-African.
I saw Ghana's like what would have been line up. I did jealous Ghana now.
Did you see one
Like
video
if-
where the way they were packaging their yams and
And
you
they're
know,
exporting.
and they're exporting
see,
abroad?
I
And
did
I've seen
vex.
it.
But our economy still better pass their own, so we still have that
Just
one.
a minute.
We still
Fair
have
enough,
that
yeah.
one.
I mean, you
I
can
So any other apart from
Apart from England, Spain.
I'm surprised you never go to the US because all my friends that lived in the UK always seem to know that it's just easy to just back quickly enter US.
Well,
never really interested you.
I think I will still go. I think it's just priorities. Really, I think for me, if I was ever going to the US, probably either have plans to maybe just go to Los Angeles or go to Miami.
those kind of adventures.
or
So
Las
you're a
Vegas,
beach
yeah.
guy. You like the sun. You like.
Yeah, I love that. I love that.
All right. So earlier today, I was talking to my guy. He schooled in the UK for his masters a couple of years ago. He's a regular on the sports F, and we're just talking about the effects of life and jackbar. That is like the general. You're young, you go to school, you get married, you have children, and then the opportunity to immigrate. And so, I think we should just start from this regular gist that is again trending about the UK. So in the last couple of weeks, we've had their election gist. We've had a lot of young people dying. We've had again gist of people divorcing. Like UK is Nigerians and Africa. That community right now is really going through a lot.
Yeah.
And so I was just telling him how like for someone like me, it's just God grace they help me because I chose not to jacquard. And then I got married. Obviously, the gist out there these last 2 weeks is that don't jackpot after 30, right? And I always say there's no point in jackpotting when you are either married with children or you are married and you're not on the same page. Or maybe you are
That's very
marrying to
important.
jackpot. You know, and so I was just telling my guy that look, you know, I've had 2 children under 2. So like in 2 years, 2 children.
Yeah.
And I don't know how I would have handled living abroad.
in
through
that situation.
Because
You know-
childcare itself is even expensive.
Yes. But even from the mental health perspective, because you are here in Lagos, I'm a Lagos boy born and bred. I know a lot of people. See how we already have a lot of alma mater connections and we've never met before. And so I had family sort of help me. So when you're going through a tough time and your mental health is all over the place, you either have the church community, your work community, things like that. But if I did UK, for those while they do, you know, because by the time frustration hits you,
Yeah.
you know, you
don't
just
look what that means
to
to
lash
air
out
out,
or to
yeah.
air out, you know. So, but in your opinion, like, how has that been for you? How was your experience, and what did you see in your time in
So
living there?
to be honest, like on a personal level, first of all, I've got family over there. But when I was going, from the get-go, I already told my parents that look, I'm not going to stay with family. I want to be on my own. I want to, I want to be a big boy. Let's just put it that way.
You wanted your freedom.
Exactly, I wanted my freedom for lack of better.
In
words.
hindsight, do you regret that?
No, I don't, because I was able to learn a lot of things that if I was with family, I think I would have been shielded from it.
Yeah.
And, I think what I like about
Isaac,
this
I
system,
understand, like,
Easy
man.
with the money.
what I like about the system over there is that you have the opportunity to be your own man. You can fend for yourself. I mean, I was going to school, I was working, and I was earning enough money to pay my rent. I was earning enough money to feed myself. I was earning enough money to transport myself, and still money to like flex on the side.
So any extra thing from family was just extra.
Yes,
you
exactly.
became a man that way.
Exactly.
Sorry, this
Exactly.
was in what year?
This was in 2022.
Oh,
2022.
recent.
Yeah, 2022. I think. Yeah, 2022. Yeah.
So I mean, she
No,
went.
was it 2022? We're in 2024 now.
Yeah, this is
Were
2020.
It was 2022, yeah.
Were you
yeah.
there? You were there after COVID then.
Oh yeah, after COVID, yes, after
Okay.
COVID, after COVID. Yes.
All right.
So yeah, and I think for me, to be honest, the funny thing was that when I got there, I got an apartment outside of school, but good
Always,
enough.
always best.
Yes, because when you compare prices outside
Cheaper,
of school is
yeah.
cheaper. And I remember when I was going, good enough, my school has a hub and a office here in Lagos. And when you're coming from Nigeria, you're usually put in a group chat with other Nigerians that actually
Yeah.
live in Nigeria to go there. So before I got there on the group chat, someone had gone ahead since like maybe August, and then he got like a place where it's like an 8-bedroom, and it was just newly furnished and whatnot. And he asked if people were interested. I signaled interest in it, and then I got there, and then good enough we were about 6 Nigerians, 6 Nigerians in the apartment, and then we had one person who was Indian and another person from Palestine. So I mean, being with your Nigerian brothers and sisters, it was good. It wasn't so difficult because number one, in terms of food, like you could still have your
Your Nigerian food.
meals, your Nigerian meals and whatnot, and at least you had people that could, like, should I say, you could sympathize
Relate,
with,
yeah.
and then when you are going through tough times,
Yeah.
I think first of all the weather was the most humbling experience. You're used to extreme tropicals over here. I mean, Isaac and I, we schooled in a place where if the sun, that was for uni,
Yeah.
once the sun is at the peak, if you can survive the sun there,
in that place,
then I think you can
God
survive.
damn.
You can survive the sun anywhere.
The sun with the Saudi right now, where they kill people. Nobody can survive now.
Bro.
Climate change is becoming more and more clear to
True.
us.
So I mean, going from one extreme weather condition to another was a humbling experience. I think first of all, I lost my voice in the first couple of days. I lost my voice, and then I got that back. And then settling into school was easy, because the educational system over there is actually intentional about you learning. Like they want you immersed in the culture, compared to our educational system over here. And honestly, learning was so easy that
Yeah.
I wasn't thinking to myself that
Wait, do you mean like aside the academic part, like they wanted you to acclimatize with their culture?
yes. So and then at the point in time, I started thinking to myself, why are things so hard in Nigeria? Like I began to ask myself questions about some lecturers. Like, what was wrong with this guy? Why was he doing this?
I think it's the second person saying this from you.
No, because the thing hits me like in a really weird way. Like one day I was in class, right, and then my course is very like practical, right, and I love sports, so it's like it's within line my career line and whatnot. And we were just having a random conversation, and then the lecturer was just able to link it to the theory he was talking about. I'm like, is it really that simple?
Yeah.
Like, is that meanwhile? Here in Nigeria,
You don't be giving you theories.
Sorry.
and they'll make it seem like
So I mean, and we probably cannot help them on this pod, but I think it's just how our system is.
yeah.
It always feels like, in my own experience, any lecturer who just wasn't happy at home,
True.
who wasn't happy with his pay, who wasn't
pay.
content.
But sir, is that why they will not
struggle.
be using their own
Yes.
lecture notes to be teaching
Yeah.
in 2020?
Yes.
So
Nobody's
because the
putting
question
efforts.
is, why should I go the extra mile?
What's
If
the
a lecturer
reward?
cannot even afford to go to the UK for some all those
Yeah.
symposiums, all
Yeah.
those cross learning opportunities, why should I go do the extra?
Okay, so
research?
can I
So-
answer you? I think that I'll just say from movies I've seen, and like from people I've spoken to, the people who get into the academia in countries like the UK, US actually do have passion for it.
Yes,
100%.
exactly.
Not
Here,
like here, where
it's just
you,
like-
you fell
So, for
into it.
example,
I
you
don't-
study
I
something
didn't see a
like
job.
biochemistry and you don't want to go work in the bank or because there's really no career path. So you end up falling
Or
into the
there's
academia.
another funny one. You want to japa, you realize that the academia has a pathway
Has
for
a
lecturers.
pathway.
For lecturers,
Exactly.
exactly.
So that's
Exactly.
that's the
Yeah.
system.
True.
Yeah, but
true.
in your experience, right? What one or two things will you say that you probably struggled with living on your own that you may have enjoyed living with family, and then vice versa as well?
I think it was basically just had to be food. That's just business as a guy.
Wanting to-
And I don't
having
mean
to
to
cook,
sound
think of
I don't mean
food,
to sound
think-
stereotypical,
Yeah.
but cooking sometimes is not really like a strong points for men.
us, yeah.
So I mean, I had to
And
learn
the
to
time.
and timing as well. You know, I just had to learn to cook for
Were
myself.
you cooking by yourself, or you and your Nigerian guys? This is like
So sometimes I cook for myself. Sometimes we cook
You
together.
collabo.
Sometimes they cook for me. If I'm being honest, I mean, it was like that sometimes, depending on how tired everyone is,
Yeah.
or depending on the way you are feeling. Sometimes you want to cook by yourself.
What
Actually,
was the relationship with the other nationalities
No,
on on those domestic? Because I have
so-
guys telling me different things. Some are clean, some are dirty.
Yeah.
Some are this, some are that. Like, what
Yeah,
was that?
so my only problem with the Indian housemate was just having X amount of friends over, just a lot of friends
Noise
over. And then
maker.
sometimes-
Indian friends.
Yeah.
So,
and
so
then
just like their
sometimes-
Bollywood movies.
Exactly. Yeah, no, honestly, that's the way. And then, you know, when they cook, like the scent of their
The
meals
scent,
are
yeah.
so strong.
Yeah.
And then they use a lot of spices
Yes,
that, bro,
yes,
like
yes.
you like kilo day, like it's never that serious, man. It's food. Why do you have so many spices in it? So that was my only problem with them. And then sometimes they just made noise. And I'm someone that I like a bit of peace and
Peace and
quiet.
quiet,
Like if
yeah.
I'm at home, let me know that I'm at home. I need peace and
brother.
tranquility. So
Yeah.
sometimes I had a problem with that. The Palestine person, I think the only well, it wasn't really a problem. It wasn't a problem for me, right? But I'll say for some of my other housemates, she smoked weed. So
Oh,
like,
the babe.
she?
yeah.
It's like against like the house rules.
Was it? No. I went through the house rules, but for that particular house, no, it wasn't.
Wasn't.
So let's just some of my housemates had problems with it because
Yeah.
the smell was pretty strong. Like I'm climbing up the stairs and I already
That's-
know, okay,
yeah, she's
yeah,
smoking.
she's
Well,
on that
so,
pee.
so when you walk into your family houses in the UK, what thing do you see when you just go for like the weekend? You're like, oh, well, thank God I'm not here.
I think first of all, for me, I'm really, really blessed to have such a loving family, right? I love my extended family, honestly, and I think first of all, just seeing them alone warms my heart,
Yeah.
right? And then you enter, you go into the house, and honestly, it just feels like home. It feels like Nigeria. The
Yeah.
smell is,
Yeah.
there's just that particular
Familiar.
smell. You just know that okay,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm at home, I'm at peace, and then when I
Well,
go
2
see
days
them,
into the trip.
no. To be honest, right? Maybe because now I'm an adult. Maybe assuming, maybe if I was younger,
Much
and
younger,
maybe if I
yeah.
was under 18, maybe I would have
you
felt
are
I want.
frustrated about-
No. But when I go there, honestly, I'm treated like a king. To be honest, like,
because they don't
I'm-
see you a lot.
Yeah, they don't see me a lot, and then they know where I'm coming from and whatnot.
how were you able to balance work and school? Because like recently we were seeing news about like Nigerians like those.
It was an Ozu.
Yeah. Yeah. It wasn't on a scale of maybe 1 to 100. I'll say maybe for me, to be honest, maybe it was like 75%. Because lucky for me, I had only classes twice a week. And then I'm off every other day of the week. But then again, I still had the 20-hour work restriction.
Yeah.
And keep in mind that I still need to make money to
Take
pay,
care of stuff.
take care of myself and things like that. So sometimes it was difficult, especially when you're trying to like make deadlines for assignments, but then you still need to hustle because you know that if you don't go out and make this
Yeah.
money, I'll not have enough money to pay for rent and whatnot.
So I mean, I've got 2 questions, but I just have to ask. When you talk about how easy it is with the lecturers, sometimes when I consider I have interest in public leadership and things like that, so I want to consider another postgrad in the UK or any country, I usually would see the amount of like the percentage time that you're in class to percentage time of self-taught. Because I'm so used to class, I'm seeing some schools telling me that 75% of your learning is on your own. Like you got to read.
Yeah.
What was that balance for you?
So first of all, for that which you've said, it's mostly from my experience, from what I've seen, it's mostly for PhD students. Mostly. But for the masters, there's like a good balance.
Yeah.
And I think for me, what this kind of self-learning I really had to do was more of knowing how to just implement theories practically. I think what helped me greatly was my work experience, my professional life. It helped me, prepared me for it. And in fact, that's what qualified me to be able to study the course because my BSc had nothing to do with it, So my work experience helped me and it made it kind of easier. So researching just basically felt like I was just researching for work, like I would do normally if I'm being employed in my usual workspace, and that was like an everyday thing for me. And it's easy to do that sometimes on the phone.
What were you doing here before you?
So before
Sound like KPMG or something.
No. I was so I was able to marry 2 different professional experiences together. So first of all, I have my background in being in media, which is being a sports analyst and a sports anchor. So I used to do that as well. And then I love events. a lot. So I also have experience in working in
Management.
agencies.
Ah.
So first of all, experiential marketing,
Ah, nice.
and then again activations companies. So basically, companies are just sports activation agency to be precise, and then an experiential agency. So with the experiential agency, I was able to do things outside of sports as well.
Yeah.
But majorly helping brands to first of all ideate,
What they wanna
ideate,
And
analyze,
help execute. as well.
and execute. And I'm a big fan of being on ground, executing, and working behind the scenes. So married all of that together, hence me going to study sports
Sports
events
events
management,
management.
right?
Makes sense.
Yeah, so
Makes sense.
that was easy
I've
for
always
me.
wanted to ask you though, like, what's this interesting sport? Like, why?
Honestly, I think it's just what God has deposited in me. I don't mean to sound too spiritual, but I'm a Christian, and the way I'm wired, from birth, you
I'm
know.
so angry because you have found your twin or something.
But
It's funny today that you guys have a sports analyst on the pod and you
Mm.
could not talk about football.
That's actually.
Oh, that's
The irony,
we
the
might
irony.
get
so
into that
club
later.
football is not really in season, but like there's a
It
tournament
doesn't
going on
matter.
now.
Like you guys didn't talk about football at
So,
all.
Thank you for reminding us.
Don't try it though.
A
Don't
few
try it.
moments later. Guy, did you see how Germany equalized the other day?
it was a ridiculous game. But I must give kudos to Germany because going into the tournament, I did not. give
Nagelsmann
them
is showing me he
props.
has some.
Yeah,
He has something.
He's a
And that's
talented
why
manager.
you guys didn't believe that they were going to go forward.
No. I'm German. Like I don't know why they bomb me for it.
Wait, is that the
I
only-
love Germany.
What team are you rooting for?
Going into the tournament, I think I was just going to go for an easy team, and I was going to say France. Because I know France have
So
been
nobody's
to the
rooting for
finals.
Portugal.
So I like Portugal, but I don't like that CR7 still has to always start the games, and I don't like their defensive.
Why wouldn't he start the games?
Yeah,
They
but-
literally benched him in the World Cup and you can see the results.
True,
Do you understand?
but nah.
You
So-
guys
And
have
he has had a
3
good
minutes.
season.
3 minutes
So
more.
France-
3 minutes
so
more for the
France-
sports analysis.
So France, I don't like any country that. So let me put it this way, and so we'll segue from this sport now back to Nigeria. It's just like our current ruling party, where you just put all the convicts and corrupt politicians in one place.
No, technocrats.
You put it together. So France has 9 or 10 black Africans playing for them. Then one white guy and one white coach. Make it make sense. So like, I can never support
Papa
France.
didn't go this year.
Going is not the same as starting.
Papa
Starting,
and
yeah.
Griezmann.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
But Greece, so I can never support France. That World Cup will forever be tainted for me. Now anything they win, because you are talking of a country that exploits us, takes from about 6 countries their money, keeps their money, wouldn't allow them immigrate well. Then people suffer to get there, and then they use them to win. And like,
But they're paying them now.
life is not just about that, Isaac. But that's so. Let's segue back into what we're talking about. Thank you. We'll get to it. And don't worry. And there's clearly because ask him. I've been looking for someone to run a sport stuff with. But but yeah, it's that politics they distract me right now.
You
But
look
yeah.
the part, by the way. You look the part.
But I'm in between the opportunity to be able to talk about what you love and then being able to serve. Sometimes you have to
Yeah.
sacrifice one for the other.
Yeah, I think for me, because I also have ambitions to be in a position where I can influence things the right way. I think it's just easy for me because I was still toward the sports line and whatnot. But like I was saying before, I think it's something that just God deposited in me, and I've had it for a very long time. And to be fair, my dad played football competitively till I think before he
Really?
got to university. Right, so he was pretty good. My mom was athletic as well, so I think one way or the other, he was going to manifest in one of the children. I've got two.
Are your siblings like that?
I've got 2 brothers. My older brother used to run. He used to be very, very good athlete, and I think that if he really wanted to pursue it further, he could have.
What's his name?
His name is Ayolua
What's you guys' name again?
Adebari.
Did you go to our school?
Yeah, he went to. He was, like I said, he was in Toyosi.
Yeah.
So you could know him. Yeah, you
Oh,
could know
probably
him.
also my junior.
And then he went to. There's this popular secondary school, Christ the Redeemer's College. They always used to churn out
CRSS.
CRC. They used to churn out very, very good athletes, and then he
That's what
went,
he went to.
for example, exactly. You see, so you
when you
see,
said the names sounds familiar.
yeah,
So I was
yeah.
the fastest in SIS and
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Do you still run?
So when I was much younger,
Funny.
Really run. From where to where?
I
Just kidding,
cycle.
just
I've got a
kidding.
cycling club now, but they haven't seen me in 2
Try
years.
running, try running, let's see.
I started doing gym last year, but anyway. So when SIS, I was one of the fastest guys for most of my primary 4, primary 5, then CRC, GS1, GS2. I was involved in sports, but I was much shorter and much smaller.
Down to
it.
I had a big bum. I've always had a big bum, but so I was always very athletic and all that. That's small.
Yeah. So if he wanted to, he would have.
That's
He would
nice.
have. Yeah,
That's
so that
interesting.
was good. So
It's this small.
yeah. So and then growing up watching people like DG Tinubu of blessed memory, watching people like Fela Bankulemo, watching people like Charles Anazudo, Moses Praise, and then outside of the country, certain
Those
pundits
are where the legends are.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any African sports analyst that has really resonated as much as what our PS2, PS3 did with
Jim Beglin.
Jim Beglin
Yeah,
and
John Champion.
John Champion.
Yeah.
And of course, right now, BBC.
Only OGs
Sky
understand.
Sports. Yes, so
Yeah.
I had that. But, just like my mom and my grandmother, I grew up the only child of a single mom. There was that, my friend, you are good at math, please
Yeah,
go
just
to
go to
school.
school.
Like, that would guarantee us that you at least have a good life. I don't regret it, but yeah.
So looking up to those people, and then what then helped me here in Nigeria was being able to have internships in radio stations. Good enough, Covenant University had a radio station as well, so that was like a learning ground for me. I
Coming
learned,
now, we don't plug you. Pay me
We
ad
talk
money.
about them like almost every day on this phone.
yeah,
What
and big shout out to Lanre Shonubi. I was
Really
basically
good.
like, should I say he's
Prodigy.
I was his understudy.
Are you serious?
Yes, I was his
That is very
understudy.
small,
At Covenant University, and I work with great people as well, like Ayomide Wande, Fola, Adiola Dada as well, and I learned from them. So it was very easy for me. And then by the time they were leaving, I then had my own program. I took over the program I was being an understudy to as well. At every long summer holiday that I had at Covenant, I was either at a radio station or a TV station or at a sports activation agency. So I would always segment it. So by the time I was done with
It was already clear what you wanted to do.
Covenant, it was pretty much easy for me to just dive into it. So and I took all the opportunities I could get. I remember the first time I was on TV was maybe 2017. I think it was 2017. It was actually 2017. It was with LTV at that time, and then from then on, I just began to build from that. Good enough. 2020 came, and I wanted to actually work. I don't know if I can name drop some brands. I don't know. I wanted to work
Sure,
with Red Media. That's like
Oh,
Debola,
yeah.
Debola of Lagos,
Yeah.
right? I wanted to work with them because, at that point in time, they were like the biggest marketing agency. They had already even did a couple of presidential campaigns as well, at that time. So I just wanted to learn one certain aspect of marketing. So to help me with sporting brands, when I begin to interface with them. Good enough, for some reason, I did not get the internship, even though I had a face-to-face interview with Chud Gideon. In fact, I went to his house for the interview.
Oh, are you serious?
Yeah. I went to his house for the interview. What even
Can't
happened?
say what's on my mind now.
No, don't go there. That's off camera. So I wasn't alone. Let's just put that out there. So there were other people there. There were other people that also interviewed as well. You might even know one of them. She's a lady. You might know one of them. I think you should know her. So the let's say the head of talent recruitment, the person was kind of shady at that point in time, and for some reason the person kind of messed up my application. So when I because I came out of camp in maybe November
brother.
or something.
God did it.
Honestly, my mother would say that as well, that God did it. So when I think I left camp in
Let's
like
move
November
on.
or something, I was going to start working immediately, and then it was delaying. January came,
God,
and
God's
then
breeze.
I went there, and then it wasn't going to happen for some reason. They said my details were not there, so I
Baba
could
God
not
did
do
it. We don't need to
Let
talk
me
about
bust
this
your
thing.
head. Do you know that when the other NYC people
came
started
out.
their stuff, do you know Chude asked about me, and then they told him what happened. He then, through his personal assistant, he then offered
Another role.
said to her that maybe I could be like his PA or something, but because I think I wasn't just going to get the amount I was probably looking for. He said just to see first. So one fateful day, I was just like, well, let me go and cast my net out there. So first of all, I went to meet Larry at
Hot FM.
Hot FM. Yeah, I went to meet them, but they were not going to pay me. I was
Ah,
going to be
taking
coming.
that.
I was going to be coming.
You're not
And-
taking it.
I don't know how many free jobs I did for like 8 years before I.
Well, maybe
I
you
don't
could
know.
afford to do that, maybe because there was the home support. But then I was going to be shuffling from
Island to
the mainland
mainland,
to the,
yeah.
so he was like, why that? And then,
Funny story. Not like I got a job, but I could have gotten a job at that same place.
same place.
Yeah,
Mhm.
man.
So and then one of my friends at that time, not my friend, the person I was dating at that time, I also went to her company. I also went to her company to know if I could to know if I could. I mean, we're friends now today, so it's
intended.
so I can say friend. So I wanted to know if I could intern there. The person liked me. The owner of the company, we hit it off immediately, but they didn't really have a good structure. My last straw was then latching on to a friend of my mom who had set up his own TV station. And then this person basically had stellar experience over in the UK, came to Nigeria, worked with channels for 5 years, then went ahead to set up his own place, which was now Plus TV Africa. And then immediately I got there, good conversation as well. And from the get-go, he asked me what department I'd like to work in. I said sports. It was like fantastic because
we're going to
they
grow
are
that.
short, they are short-staffed in sports. And then I started working with the sports department. By the second day, obviously from the main anchor interfacing with me, he could tell that I was deeply rooted in this thing, and I was passionate about it. And I think I started work on Monday, and then I think on Tuesday evening, he asked me if I'd like to be on the show, and I was like, yeah, definitely, no doubt. Immediately I called my mom. I was like, yo, mommy, I'm going to be on TV.
I'm going to be a star.
What no. And then the nerves did not hit me.
Had you left your parents' house at this time?
Oh yeah. I had to leave. I left my parents' house at this time, so I was staying with my guy on the island in Lekki Phase 1. I think Plus TV was in somewhere in like VI. I've forgotten where exactly, but somewhere in VI. So yeah, and then honestly, the nerves didn't hit me till I heard the camera rolling. But it was a good debut, and then from there on, it has been smooth sailing, and I've been able to build my network as well, because in this industry, like, networking is very important. Knowing people is important. Knowing international people too is important. Yeah. And honestly, from the first year that I started, getting international recognition from people like I look up to, them looking at my work and then commenting and saying one thing.
It's good.
It was good. So from then it was just.
Well, do you have any regrets not getting the Red Media job?
No, I don't. There's some things I can say to you off the recording so you can understand more.
Yeah.
But let's just say that there's more to
There's
life.
more to life than what That's why I asked the question.
You know.
All right.
Yeah.
So like, very interesting story, by the way. So at what point did you say, okay, I need to, because I mean, you already had that trajectory, you already met people in the broadcasting space and all that, but like, why did you not decide to go abroad?
Okay, so first of all,
And was it a hard decision too?
Your family had money. Let's start with that.
no, God is good.
Let's be honest on this podcast.
Yeah, true.
Then after that,
True. But to be honest, my dad. So first of all, I think I like the marriage between my mom and my dad because they are two different individuals. I'm more similar to my mom. We're more outspoken. We are like the people person. My dad is more reserved and doesn't speak too much. So whenever he speaks, you listen. And then one day, I think this is 2020. This was maybe 2021. This was 2021. And then one day randomly, he just says to me, I want you to go for your master's and I need you to start looking at school. I mean, so for that coming from him, it's like, man, okay.
this is happening.
This is happening. I need to start looking into it. And then, so yes, that's what they made me. But aside that, to be honest, when I looked at the people who I was aspiring to be like here in Nigeria, I knew that they also had that, they had also gone outside of the country, gathered foreign expertise, and then they came back to set up their own things. And then they had a different sort of respect and recognition
In the industry.
compared to those who have remained here and are still doing their thing. I mean, I'm not saying the people that have been here and not left the shores, they are highly respected in the industry. But then again, there's a difference. There's a difference also in the way you do your job. And I think for me, one thing that stands out for me, or one thing that makes me unique in the industry, is the fact that for me, it's like I have both knowledge of coaching, scouting, and then analysis, like deep analysis. I'm not just your regular pundit that is just giving their opinion. I will give you insights as to players, tactical setup, and then whatnot. So that's one thing that just really makes me unique. And then for them as well, there are certain things that makes them unique as well. So when I just noticed that the people I was looking up to, it had also happened for them, they had to leave the country and come back. And then they also had a different respect. I said, you know what, since I have this opportunity, might as well toe that line as well.
So obviously, the question on them is why UK, why not Canada, why not US? As a sports guy, I probably know the answer to this question.
Yeah.
But with Canada now announcing in recent weeks different opportunities for the immigration policies being capped, some good, some bad. Now no more flag polling. You can't get your PGWP at the border, and of course, in your own time, UK then began to follow suit with the postgraduate work permit being extended. Why did you pick the UK? Was it just easy for you, or what was it?
It was purely on professional basis. At that point in time, I knew for a fact that if I went to Canada, I'm probably going to go back into the marketing space and event management. I think event management would have been what would have been best suited for me if I went to Canada, because I knew my capabilities and I studied the market space as well. And I knew that for Canada, really, their biggest sport is basketball. And it's not even the entirety of Canada that is really into it per se.
And they do hockey.
Ice
too.
hockey.
Yeah,
and
ice hockey as
basketball.
well. Ice hockey and basketball. So they're not really big on that. I mean, they've got one star in football. That's Alphonso Davies. And then you've got other people like, Jonathan David that applies this rating, Lille, who are trying to make things good for Canadians in terms of football. So I knew if I was going there, I knew
very
sports was going
limited.
to die. And for me, I'm a very realistic person, and I just knew that I would be miserable because this thing inside me is going to keep burning.
Yeah.
So I knew that I needed to
both way.
ignite the flame and just take it to the next level and see where it's going to go. So, and I really wasn't going to be stupendously happy if I was doing just event management, because it was going to seem boring, because I do enjoy the whole process. But what I enjoy the most is
the
like
sports
the
side of it.
event day of it. And once that's over, I don't really like the whole process
Yeah.
of ideating, whatnot. So I just said no. So for UK was
That makes sense. So right now it's 6 months to the next intake for Canada, June 2025. Probably the same for most UK schools. You may see 1 or 2 October intakes this year, but January. But the US probably has the most intakes in a year. Sometimes some schools have 4 or 5 intakes. So why not the US? The US is the biggest media capital.
good question as well.
Why not focus on
And they're
New
big on
York,
sports too.
which is basically the mecca of sports?
Yeah.
It probably will be maybe across the table from Stephen A. Smith, and then Isaac will tell him that this is my guy on ESPN. But why not?
So in the US, the sports culture is totally different.
Yeah.
Right? And it's totally different because in the US, it's all about
Money.
the dollars, the greens. So it's more channeled into marketing. It's more channeled into clickbait, what is trending, what you can get off it. And for me, I am really, really a sports guy. I'm really into it, the nitty gritty, the behind the scenes and whatnot. And then again, I also have a good friend of mine. He also went to SIS, by the way.
Okay.
He was about to go pro as an athlete. And then, good enough, he went to Texas. That's I've forgotten the full name of the school, but that's like the biggest uni in America, where most of the biggest athletes they've been through.
Texas A&M.
Yeah. So he went through that aspect, and then he then got into the marketing aspect of sports. And then from there, that then deviated his mind. He decided not to go pro anymore because he saw the money there, and then he just went into business straight away. So from me, obviously talking to him and everything, I already had my own reservations because I could already see it with the way things were changing in the US, And I think that trajectory for the US started when LA Galaxy first of all signed David Beckham. When they saw the type of impacts David Beckham had, they knew that there is something in here that we're yet to tap into. They already got it right with basketball. At the time when basketball was peaking, baseball was already dying, right?
Yeah.
But then they needed another market to pull through from, and then football was just it. And David Beckham had so much of an impact that other top European stars also started coming. Then you had the likes of Thierry Henry going there. You had the likes of Lampard, and whatnot. And then, so I could already see that. But I also wanted to know from also the behind the scenes aspect, and having that insight from him, I knew that definitely I don't want to go there, because he himself now, he's planning, and we're planning together on how he's going to come to the UK. Because also he's someone who grew up in Nigeria, right? He knows, like, in Europe, Nigeria also, we kind of have like the same culture when it comes to sports. So you've already grown up and you're imbibed in a certain culture.
So why change completely?
Exactly.
the
And so for
wisdom
him, it's weird, right? He doesn't enjoy it as well.
It also goes to the question when students come to us about what do I do, and you're trying to, sort of guide someone based on the curriculum or your culture to what fits you, right? And that's really what he's saying, because there are some places you want to go for your master's or your undergrad, and where you are coming from Nigeria, it does make your life, it's a softer landing, as opposed to going to another place, like Maya said, and you are going from school to school, because it's a completely different struggle, understanding their ways of learning and things like that. Don't talk about racism and other things.
Yeah, but I want to say something too. All my time working like in the visa space, I have noticed a pattern. So the people who are like him, who have like that career path that they want to follow, and they've done their research and seen the market and the location they're going for, they actually do. So they have the money to go. Do you get? So it's not Japa is not a, for people like that. It's not a do or die thing. Do you understand?
It's a process thing.
It's a process
well
thing.
thought out.
But the people who don't actually have the money to go, and it's just like,
Any means, anywhere belly
anywhere
just get me
belly
out of
face,
here.
so they would probably go for like a care job. So imagine someone like this that has work. So I remember a podcast I was listening to years ago, it's like 2017, 2018, and then that's when like the Japa thing was really picking up. And then so this particular guy, he's a very big name in the music media space. And then they asked him, like, would you Japa? And like right now, do you get? And he's like, why would I go and start my career from the scratch? And they're like, you don't start your career now. You can still be working here and maybe be doing one care job there. Once you want to, and the guy's like, no, that's if there's a way he can carry this his career from where he
And just-
That's why I wanted to ask him. Why didn't you stay back in the UK?
I am going to go back. But if I stayed there, so one thing about the sports industry is that you need to always find a way to remain relevant. That's the
Yeah,
first thing, right? And then if I stayed there, so I was there for 1 year and 4 months, right? If I continue to stay there during, should I say, this period where you have tournaments like the Euros. First of all, we had AFCON at the beginning of the year. Now we have the Euros, there's Copa America, and then we're going to start qualification for AFCON as well. So if you stay away for too long, it then kind of seems like you are, I don't know, it's like you will almost be forgotten. But however, while I was in the UK, I tried my best to remain relevant in the industry. I was appearing on podcasts, both European and American. And once in a while, the company I work with now in Nigeria, because of the relationship I had with the main anchor, I would appear on his show. So I was also, all virtually. So I was also finding a way to make myself still be relevant, even in the Nigerian space. But long term, I will go back. The goal for me is to always be able to shuffle to and fro. Because long term, the plan is to become a licensed agent by FIFA. And me and the friend I was talking about that is planning to come to the UK.
Are you guys already talking of management company?
Of course, because both of us, we've had this burning. Okay, so this is the thing for us, and this is what really made us go this way. So the truth is, going to schools like SIS, going to schools like RISS and CRC, we saw so many talents wasted. Covenant as well, brother. We can talk about many ballers that is painful to us. That
95 in.
Do you understand? Like it's so painful to us that we're not seeing them where we know they should be. So for us, it was just like, we've seen too many talents die, and we know it's because in Nigeria there's no enabling environment.
Can I just put on the podcast that like this conversation is not good anyway. So last week, 2 years ago during COVID, when I started my cycling club, then 2 years ago I wanted to start a football thing because everything sports we couldn't do during COVID, right? So who do you thought to? But last week, I've been trying to figure out how to get that sport thing going. Then I figured the light bulb just went up. I could just do a 30 over like league, like only for guys between the age of 30 and 40. So like these kind of your covenant guys who can no longer play ball but still want to play ball, have that kind of league going, something like that. So
Yeah, that's a good idea.
because
So,
guys still want to play ball. And we've already accepted the fact that we probably can never go abroad or be professional.
Yeah.
But what's to say that you cannot still do something
like
relevant?
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And
So
then, yeah.
Isaac is going to be the.
I'm not 30 yet. I'm not close to 30. But I mean, you can have a
you
clause
have a
of like,
conversation
Yeah,
with someone
yeah,
and tell you.
yeah.
I'm,
And you
I'm
look
just trying to
at it,
marry
you
how
just-
everybody's ideas are of, because like I said earlier, from secondary school, they began to ring in my head that forget sports, focus on book, you know.
yeah,
So
yeah. So
that no, you were not wasting talent.
no,
and, yeah.
definitely, yeah. So for us, it was we just really hated it, and we just said, you know, let's find a way to help people now. And I think it made a lot of sense for us because for me, being in uni, I played for like my first year or second year, but then immediately my guys noticed that, you know what, I seem to have a deeper understanding of this, and then they just made me the coach immediately, right? So I have a bit of that experience there, and then my professional experience as well. So and then he was a professional athlete, you know, he just didn't take it to the pro level, and then he's been behind the scenes in terms of marketing as well. So us coming together, the
exciting.
long-term plan is, you know, to be able to help people here in Nigeria that don't have the enabling environments. If we know they are good, and you know, and the attitude is right, because it's one thing to
That's
have the
another-
talent.
That's we can't talk about that today, but that's another very important
because
thing.
you and I know people who have the talent, but we know the attitude is
Yeah,
bad.
so it's
Terrible,
terrible.
terrible
And you get to
attitude.
You
teach-
know,
you have to teach that.
So that's an important thing for us, and then the
that's
goal is to be
interesting.
able to, you know, take them to good platforms where they are able to like.
Sorry,
know,
speaking about
honestly.
attitude, I just wanted to bring, so I can't, is it the Michael Jordan story? And if you look at even most sports guys who have their parents behind them, the parents always try to bring in that attitude thing.
Yeah.
Do you get? Because it's a very key thing. I mean, look at Mario Balotelli, for example.
Yeah.
Now, his attitude literally ruined his career.
There are
Do
so
you
many
get?
of them.
Yeah, so parents like to always ensure that okay, you have this talent and you're getting the name and all that, but like maintain a good attitude so it doesn't ruin your business.
Yeah, it's very, very
So
important
this is really-
But I mean, the Bible says a good name is better than what.
than riches and gold. Yeah.
So
Fuck.
again, we were talking about it earlier. This is not a Christian podcast. We always tend to bring in Christian stuff. I was saying that, you know, the Bible is just letters. If you don't look deeper than that, you know, if you've read the Bible, say that, you just feel like, it's just a typical thing. But until
just
you really
words.
look deep into the life of like, if you don't take correction at a certain age, whatever you think will be riches will never last. You know, if you don't take correction at a certain age, whatever you think you're enjoying, you know, that discipline that you did not get, that rebuke you never got, it then costs you much more. Like
Yeah.
Pogba,
Yeah.
Matt Balotelli,
Yeah.
and the other likes, you know. So we're going to really sit down because Tolu is coming back from Canada. I don't know when your guy is coming back. We'll probably get Frederick because last year or 2 years ago, you remember Maiwa comes here. We're here like twice now. We actually wanted to start a club. So I like the like minds of young people being able to be very bold and ambitious. I mean, Sporting Lagos has already started doing something.
Ikorodu City
Ikorodu
is
City is also
a good
doing
one as
something.
well.
I don't know.
Inter Lagos too.
Yeah.
Inter Lagos.
The problem
is
I'm
a
having,
good
everybody's in
platform.
Lagos. So I think
Yeah, but
I think
let's have it that way.
Lagos
If-
is
yeah,
the,
so the truth is that
Is the-
if
is
Lagos
the
is the
downtown.
only place that it seems like we can get things done well, then why not? But hey, Ikene too is there. Remo Stars are doing well. Remo
Yeah,
Stars
they're Lagos State.
and Beyond Limits FA. Beyond Limits FA is the academy of Remo Stars. They
they
are
are
very,
both
very
now.
good.
I think they're both now in
They are
the
Yeah, they're both.
Both now,
I
they
don't
are
know how
both
they
going to do
PFL.
that.
It's Nigeria, my brother. If Eimba and Abia Warriors could play in the same league and they are being sponsored by
I
the
see.
state
Same person.
governments,
Oh, okay.
then they can play.
Wait,
Play.
both clubs are sponsored by the same
yes,
state government.
yes, that's Enugu and Abia Warriors.
Okay.
Yes, they are being sponsored by the Enugu State government, and then Beyond Limits and Remo Stars are being owned by one person, Kunle Shoname.
yeah, that owns Value Jets.
Yes,
Yeah.
and Bet Niger.
Bet Nigeria. They love
So
money.
yes, ideally it shouldn't be so. You know, in Spain, you know, both Real Madrid and Barcelona have their B teams.
They can never
but their
get-
B
they can
teams are
never-
so good that they
they
can
can-
play in La Liga, but they never
they
let
can
them
never
play.
get there. They can never
But
get there.
Sadly, there's no.
So even if
integrity
they
in the
win like
Nigerian
their league, they don't.
they don't.
promote.
They never
They
get
don't
promoted.
get
Barcelona B wins that thing.
Are
like,
you serious?
They never get promoted. Never get
So
promoted.
it's an interesting place we've got into, and I think we now have to talk about when it comes to living in the UK. When it comes to relationships, both with Nigerians or Africans, what did you see with this wave? Did you ever join any Nigerian in the UK community? What did you see with marriages failing? Did you have any fears, or were you just shielded by your church? What did the church contribute to, like, people go to the UK and say they're single, or they don't mind getting married. Like, how did that work for you? Because in the last couple of weeks, again, divorces, people reporting their spouses for cheating, debt and all that. So how was that for you?
So first of all, I think before I went, I got a lot of warning and good advice from my parents that don't fraternize so much with Nigerians, because you don't really know people's true intentions,
Background,
and then you don't know where they're from. If it's not family, don't really entertain. So I went there with a mind of, I'm a Nigerian. I know you're Nigerian, but just do your
Boundaries,
deeds. Do you know? So I that was my mindset going in, and then I think it was a good thing, because there were a lot of situations whereby people just get messed up due to bad information from somebody that you feel is meant to be your guy, because they are Nigerian and you should understand as well, right? In terms of the relationships and marriages, so here's what it is. The first question you asked me, now, what's it like living there? I prefer living over there compared to Nigeria, because it's a working system.
Yeah.
Everything
does work
just
for you.
makes
At
sense.
least it works.
So are you saying that you didn't experience anything like depression?
Oh, so I think that depression is in the air. Yeah, it
That's
is.
disorder.
Yeah,
It's a
yes.
disorder.
What's that?
Yes,
I forgot.
I forgot.
SAD.
Seasonal
Yeah.
affected.
So it's in the air, because what was even the thing for me was just that one day, I think I just realized that you're actually alone. Yeah, I saw it's funny. I was just on my bed one day. It was a free day for me. I didn't really have any assignments and whatnot. I was just chilling. I think most of my housemates had left the house, and I was just alone in the room. And then when they say an idle mind is the devil's workshop. So honestly, one voice or something just dawned on me that you're alone.
Nobody even gonna check on you.
Like, you're alone. Like, there's nobody. Because basically, if you're listening to this and you want to go to England, so Leeds is in the north, right? Leeds is in West Yorkshire, but in the north side of England, right? So it's far away from your Londons. It's far away from your Coventry and whatnot. So in the north, you've got like Manchester, you've got Leeds, you've got Bradford, you've got York and whatnot. Hull. So it's not, you're kind of far away from the metropolis. But Leeds in itself is a good city, right? It's a good city for students. It's a good city if you are into certain professions, like maybe if you're into banking, if you're into customer service, if you're into tech, it's good for you, right? However, I was basically far away from family, because all my family members, all of them are in London and in the West, so I was totally far away. So it's not like I really, at that point in time, not like I knew anyone that was close by.
We don't say, ma, quickly enter. You don't need plan them.
No, so you need to plan it, because it will cost you money. But then again, the transportation system is very, very good. Yeah. It's very good. If I want to plan and say, okay, I want to get to London on this particular day at this time, to meet up with an appointment at this time, it will happen. There's no doubt about that. It will happen.
Governor.
So aside from food, what else did you miss about Nigeria when you were there?
Aside from food, honestly, I think food was the biggest thing for me. I think food was the biggest thing, because I was always communicating with my folks, and it was easy. I was speaking to at least my mother every day, so that was good enough for me. And then like I said before, that depression thing is kind of like, it just feels like it's in the air. But one thing you just need to do is, like, if you are a Christian or if you are a Muslim, hold your God tight. I think that's a period where hold your God tight. No, hold your God tight. Like, hold him by his ankle, because you can easily just get swayed. Drugs are easily accessible.
Everything is accessible.
everything is
Let's leave it that
accessible.
way.
Yeah, exactly.
But let's the question that I asked.
Okay, now relationships
yeah.
and whatnot. So
Yeah.
this is the thing. Women have a very, very good support system in England. That's one thing I've noticed, right?
Okay.
Elaborate.
And then a woman can more or less be the head of the house because the system backs women, the system protects women, right? So this is the usual trend, and this has been the trend for like a decade or more. So sometimes when a woman feels like the man is not earning enough or he's not bringing enough to the table, they just start cheating. They start cheating so that the guy is frustrated and the guy himself leaves. And then for some men, because they cannot leave, they have to condone it.
Yeah.
And then this obviously affects the man mentally, you know. And aside that, the truth is that you do feel lonely. Especially during the winter, you need a cuddle buddy or something. So people really think about it and they feel like, you know what, they need to be in a
Sorry,
relationship.
Cody, I love that.
Yeah. Because then again, for some reason, sometimes the most affordable duvets are not thick enough. I need to put that out there.
So
Yeah.
you go for natural one.
Yeah, so sometimes people want to go for the natural one. You know. So
Natural duvet, and you don't cost.
brother, you don't cost too. So that's the problem, right? And then some people are desperate, especially people above the age of 30. And then some people get into relationships that ideally
They shouldn't have
you
done
should
that.
not
not
be
have
there.
been.
You should not be relating to this person, or you and this person have no similar values.
So do you think people should go there married, single, or they
It
should also
makes
really
your
know
life
themselves?
it makes your life better, trust me, when you are going there with your partner.
Alone, not that you now have children because one person either cannot work, the cost of
Yes.
of the child.
Yes. And then
But it
one
depends
person
on the
will
age,
be
Abi.
labored. It depends on the age of the child.
Why are you
No, the
asking that
person.
question like you're
Depends
preparing?
on the age of the person. What do you
Who are
mean?
you
Like the
going with,
individual.
Isaac?
That's what I'm saying. Like, it doesn't
You
matter.
can't go with dependence. You don't forget that one.
No, that's not what I'm saying. Like, it doesn't
No,
affect
I
some
went for a
people.
master's research
I think
program,
I'm not
don't
talking to you. Like, what I meant was that.
Dependents were allowed before, but
Yeah.
you know the funny thing, to be
don't
honest,
think
it
they
wasn't
get the
Nigerians that exploited that
No,
dependency.
we
It
know that
wasn't.
now.
It was the Indians.
How many people are we?
Look, there was a report by Sky at the point in time that I saw the disparity between where Nigeria is and India.
No, it's very far now.
It's
They
far.
know
Even
that.
in
It's just
Canada,
that
it's
the
the
problem is
same.
that people talk a lot.
Yes,
Yes.
and talk too much.
That's really the
Nigerians.
problem.
So the thing is, and we talk a lot without data.
Yes.
So you know, remember there was this.
I
there was
don't know.
there was this-
They don't
sorry,
trust.
sorry,
Let
there was this
them read their
debate
data.
on Twitter when I think the NHS was saying they were going to stop giving Nigerian nurses license. So I can't remember. And then Nigerians were like, "Hey, they should be going. If you remove the number of Nigerians in NHS, they will have no health care
no,
system."
no.
And then one Nigerian to now drop
not
the
say we
data, and like
wish.
we're not even
5,
I think
10
it's another
5%
one.
of
Another thing is you don't really have a lot of Nigerians in the upper hierarchy of the NHS system. It's very difficult for Nigerians to get band 5 jobs with the NHS because number one, like I said to you off behind
Yeah,
the
we were
recordings,
talking earlier.
prior work experience in the UK helps a lot. It takes you a long way. And when you don't have that prior work experience needed, you are compared to someone who probably doesn't even have the same work experience you have
Yeah,
from
from
Nigeria.
Nigeria.
That person will always have
An
edge.
an edge over you. And also, you can't take out racism. Racism is entrenched in
the system.
system.
In every system, let's not say, because in every system, you come to the Yoruba man's land
Yeah.
and they favor the Yorubas sometimes.
True.
Oh, sorry,
Let's not make the.
Let's just segue a bit. Did you say the Yoruba guy trying to run for
Peckham.
MP in
Peckham,
Peckham?
Yoruba Party.
This-
Yeah, I saw that. And then, to be honest, if you're going to England, you need to be prepared for racism. I can tell you for a fact that I don't care about it. It doesn't affect me in any way.
Okay, so was there ever a time like where you faced racism?
The most common thing that I've always faced is, when you go to sit down beside a white person and they stand up. in
Well,
the
it still
bus.
happens.
I
in
really
this.
don't
Oh
care
yeah, it
about
still
that
happens
thing,
every day.
man.
But that
I
was
don't
good
know
for
why
me.
you.
I
I
just
don't really know why you care about.
I just
man.
drop. I don't care
The
about. I
person
just
no
drop
one
my
sit
bag
down
and
now.
I kick back and I'm chilling and I have the most
Exactly.
person no wants
Now
to
it's
sit
how
down,
you
man.
do.
Yeah, but it does affect some people. Look,
So-
I think the only time when it becomes a problem is if it could be affecting your well-being in terms
Well,
of your life
my
or
brother,
your money. If it's not affecting your money or your well-being,
let's be factual. True, but let's also be factual. That thing that you just described, we do it here.
yeah,
Yes,
classism,
we don't. Let me not have
tribalism.
too much time to go into those kind of matters. As I am now, and anybody knows me. God has blessed me with. I have one car. God has shush.
2 cars.
I can still enter in a pep and bike. If I enter in a pep and somebody doesn't appear decent, let me use that word, I will leave. Doesn't make me racist now. I don't want to collect COVID. I
Wait,
don't want to
sorry,
collect
can you
cholera.
go
I don't
again?
want to-
If you enter an pep and you see someone who doesn't
And
look
so
decent,
yeah, so like maybe I enter in a pep now and mechanic enter with engine of car.
and you're wearing like this, or
Doesn't matter what I'm wearing. The reality is that in this your country, there's no reason why a market woman or mechanic should be anything that people are entering.
You can't do that now. Come on. Now.
Well,
There's even people that sell.
So does that make me
Have
racist?
problem with
It makes you
that sell-
classist.
Yes, it makes you class.
It makes it classes.
No, I don't think so.
I don't
But then again,
No, you can't say that. So you can't say that.
But then again, if it's
Does not matter.
It doesn't matter.
For you to be
If it's
entering
about
that
your
keke,
health, true.
go and enter Uber.
Go enter
now.
Uber now.
you are missing
Hey,
the
that's you
point.
tell her now, but you
I'm
you-
not. I'm
I'm
not
not
telling the
that-
person not to enter. I would leave. I'm the one suffering. What's your own?
No, tomato one is even better.
I said
So because I'm
tomato.
dressed like a mechanic,
No, they are usually stained. Once the mechanic enters clocks in the morning,
Yeah, that's
he
different.
changed to.
It's
That's my
different
point
from-
now.
because of
and
my
me,
skin
I now
color
said
now.
to stand up.
You know, but
I didn't say you should not enter. So because I said I will wait for another pep, you say I'm classist. Because
If you
no.
come down, you'll be wasting his time because they will
So
start looking
there
for
are two
another
different
passenger.
things.
that
No,
will-
I will come down for the person.
There are two things now. Sorry.
You are being
Wait,
too
let me
kiddy.
talk.
You are
Let
being
me
too-
talk now.
And
Are
you know
you
they use
coming
they
down?
talk say your nose and they wait for your
Wait.
juice for office.
Are you coming down because the person stinks?
No.
Or because you just judge them and say this is a
All of the
mechanic?
above. If I'm on a pep queue and somebody enters, I will leave that seat
You
for
don't know
somebody.
you're
Guys,
like this,
we've
Abi.
come
Me
to
too,
the
I
end
don't
of this
know.
program. I can't believe
Yeah.
I've respected you
I
all
can't.
my life, but this is the first time I'm disappointed. No, no,
Uh-huh.
no.
Oh, but let me just say in closing that be wary of Nigerian churches over there, because some churches are not actually churches, and then maybe they run like a facade of
Community.
Wahala,
Yeah.
wahala.
No,
and then,
no.
and then
Say
sometimes,
that, no.
like for example, the one that
you
was
went
exposed
to,
to exactly what they were into was matchmaking, right?
How you go quickly get your pali?
Exactly.
Are you serious?
Yes,
Exactly,
you marry
yeah.
Kemi that her mother has been there since and has pali.
Yeah.
And Shola just came from Nigeria.
And-
He's a worship leader.
Yeah, and then again, you know, one thing that you mentioned, a situation whereby a couple, they go together and they have young kids. It's a disadvantage to them because one person works, the other person cannot. And in certain situations, some people are really, really overworked. Sad to say, someone that I had worked with before, a couple of weeks ago, I got a call from a mutual friend that he had died.
Jesus.
And you
In
know,
Nigerian?
yeah, and you know what makes it really painful? He just got a really, really good job with the NHS, and he was going to start the next.
Oh,
week.
you knew that? I saw
I-
the guy
yeah,
now.
yeah, I
This
knew
guy,
him.
Oluomo of
Yeah.
Debbie, posted it.
I knew him.
He's young,
we
handsome
we
guy.
had worked together for certain shifts, but on days whereby maybe I'll take like 7-day shift, 10 hours in a row, and then me I can chill for the next week. He can't
He
do
can't
that
do that.
because
He was
Because he has a
hustling.
family to take care of.
I know. I called all my guys when we were about to enter
you
again.
know,
If I go
it was
call that
crazy.
one now,
So,
say, oh, guy.
you know, and then but
Come
then
back here.
some people do overwork themselves.
Yes.
some people do overwork themselves.
I dey go call Likon now. Oh, guy,
you-
come
you know-
back.
you know the thing
I'll
is-
work for you.
But I mean, is that the chance to as you're working, you're checking your vitals, you're checking your
Yes, now.
Yeah, you can.
But
you
they say,
can
but
do,
that's true. I should ask you this in your own experience. When you pay for this NHS insurance thing, is it really, 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 really as difficult as most of my friends tell me it is to access the health?
yes, it is, and it could be worse.
All right.
But I mean, it's not.
So why then
it's
did they
not just
collect the
for-
money?
Yeah, it's not just for. It's not
So I
just
think it also
for. It's for
postdates a lot of
citizens. It's a
appointments.
general
It's a
thing.
general
Like you would
thing.
want to. For
I-
example,
'cause I've
if
seen
I want
that
to see
the
my
election
if I want to
is-
see my GP, I'll need to wake up as early as 7:30 so that I can be one of the first people that calls to have
get an appointment.
Yeah,
for
to get an
the- Even
appointment.
possible.
One time I called at like
I
8 a.m.
hope
on the
so
dot,
now.
and I think I was like number 36 already,
At
something
8
like that.
a.m.
But you know, he actually works here too. Like going to general hospitals here in Nigeria.
My
too,
sister,
if
no.
you don't
Let's
arrive,
not-
But
because
over
I
here,
don't
not
work
paying-
here.
over
I'm
here,
not
private
paying for
hospitals
any
are
NIH.
really,
Very
really
accessible.
affordable.
There's
and
NHS
affordable.
in Nigeria
you
too now.
can just go to
Yes,
private hos-
there's
hospitals.
insurance.
Yeah, but you
The
would
funny thing
pay
is
through
that
your
health
nose.
insurance in Nigeria. you can
All right,
only
thank you,
access
Okwe, for
private.
coming. I think we should just go through the news because we still have some stuff to talk about.
Yeah,
While Isaac is looking for his news, I think
I
this
have
is
it
time.
already.
This is time to remind you guys that Jackpot Partners are your surest plug for immigration-related stuff.
Sir,
We have holidays. I'll just because we get one waka. You will clearly you like God and maybe you go get money. No be like my co-host.
What do you mean by maybe you go get money?
Woman, you go they buy Azul
I
and all
don't.
those
I
nonsense
don't do
stuff
all those
for
things. When last
weekend.
you see me do those things?
When last
Give me
that
life
you
to
do your life
Christ.
together, I say good.
Give me life.
Anyway, so I know that we're planning Schengen in coming weeks, and we want to do UK in October. But I get one thing why the eye. But if you're looking for any of those trips,
You're not in the. Was you wanted to go for?
yeah, it's never late. But we realize it's not late.
Oh, okay.
Realize it's not late. But yeah, we're planning, and now we're looking to plan. We're working on a women's only trip. Like we're going to have some nice stuff coming up, and should we gist them about some of our latest technological developments, Mom Z? Should we talk about our app, or we should not let it load that?
No, let's-
our
Leave
tech-
it alone first.
When
Really,
when
really
when
low.
it comes when
Anyway,
we're about to launch.
January 2025 is open. May 2025 is open. This is the time to begin that process. And with funding being like the biggest question that we get in every consult that I'm called or dragged into, everybody's talking to me now about funding. Nobody discusses me now. We have a great team where people get the best advice and all that, but everybody's asking about funding. I think last week we got about $64,000 in the US, and that was fun. So if you're looking for funding opportunities, reach out to us. Start by booking a consult, make a commitment to us, and would help. You still have some news that you want to share before we?
Yeah. So our guys in Australia, they've started making. They've. No,
I don't understand
they're
those
making
guys.
things.
no,
Today
no,
they
no,
are
no,
opening
no.
their border. Tomorrow they are
Is
closing
the
it.
new?
I don't
Is the
understand.
new
So now
prime
there's
minister.
no more visa hopping. So you can't go there on a visiting visa and try and convert to student
Again,
study or
immigration
something.
and politics is like this. The new prime minister has to be. He
All
has to
of
be
them
seen to
have
be
new prime
performing.
minister. UK, Canada, US.
So UK
everybody.
is about to get a new prime minister.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
What happened to
Oh,
Rishi
he's
Sunak?
about to be swept
Oh no,
away.
he's going away.
He's
And
about
saying
to
he's
be
But he
He's
hasn't
going
done
swept.
it for 2 years, has he?
My
Yeah,
brother,
he-
it's not how that. We'll
nah.
talk about that another time. That's not how parliament works. It's not how parliament works. So yeah, and Canada likely would also lose theirs. Very, very likely.
No, but I mean he's leaving already now.
No. Like capping
Like-
season. Once you lose the leadership of your house, like if you're not the majority in primary in the parliament, the next house, whoever their leader is, becomes the prime minister. Or if there's a unity, just like South Africa had to do again a unity
Oh, yeah,
for this guy to
exactly.
become the president again.
And our guy went to Greece.
No. I'm not talking about that. No. Thank you guys for listening to our podcast today.
Yes,
It's
sir.
getting better and better, and we have the new How to Jackpot series that we have.
Yeah, so check that out on
debuted
YouTube too.
Thank you, Okwe, for coming. And I'm
pleasure.
sure you guys will be seeing Okwe and I on other podcasts because I love Okwe's energy. The sports thing.
We'll probably bring him back again because I know there's still more to talk on.
There's
Yeah.
more
So
to
there'll be a
talk
part
about.
two.
Thank you, Momsy, for coming. And our fifth rib.
She's not here.
She don't get
We
mic.
even care. She doesn't have a mic. We're not giving her mic again on this podcast.
Like,
Anyways,
share, subscribe.
Yeah.
See you guys. Over
Bye,
and out.
guys.
Bye.